desire.
Should be the common peace in war times. Welcome to another series, and this one will be titled February 5th, 1962, Santos, Bonacci, and Mr. DVG. So I hope you all enjoy this video as well as I am making these series of videos and showing how AstroTheology, as they call it, and AstroTheology are phases of noon, and this is the missing pieces of the information that a lot of these great teachers that I'm re-finding again, because I did used to listen to Mr. Tsarion back in 2008 and Mr. Jordan Maxwell passed last year, rest in peace. Also it was another person. Mr. Santos, Michael Tsarion, and Jordan Maxwell. That's just the some of the three that I can remember off the top of my head. So we're gonna get down to it. This is from a book that I've written called The Solar Cycles and the Coming of Nupu. This here was penned by myself, where I published it February 5th, 2022. Of course, you know you have to be writing before that. What you see here, December 5th, 2021, writing starting date. Finished it February 20th, 2022, finished writing date. All right. We'll go to page 7 first. Start with page 7. The moon cycle, which lasted 6,000 years, ended in February 1962. Just before the end of each ruling cycle of nature, a male person is authorized and appointed by the force of nature to determine and disclose to the people, especially those of his own kind, the hidden path, the changing present, and the ruling future. The moon cycle was the climax and final phase of the evolutionary cycle, which lasted 17,250,000 years. Therefore, since the end of the moon cycle was also the end of the evolutionary cycle, the cycle of mankind, and it is now the revolutionary cycle, which means evolutionary in reverse. It was necessary for the force of nature to select from among the oppressed in a woolly-haired Ethiopian, a descendant of Ta, and qualify, authorize, and appoint him to manifest the knowledge of and rule the beginning present cycle. End quote. Bible Interpretation Explanation, Book 2, number 5 says, listen to sound by reason. These 6,000 year cycles can be found in a section of science called paleoclimatology. Paleoclimatology is the study of ancient climates prior to the widespread availability of instruments and records. Similar to the way archaeologists study fossils and other physical clues to gain insight into the evidence to understand what the Earth's past climate was like and why. All right, so I'm going to stop there, jump to page 28. And by the way, if you want to get any of my books, you can definitely go to lulu.com, type in my name, Tar Kenu Nupu, and they will come up. All right, so let's get to page 28. And it says, listen to sound right, ultraviolet reason. Although Nupu was born in Afro Unum's mind, they didn't make themselves known until February 5th, 1962 AD. Listen to reason. The Caucasian Christian year 1962 Christian Caucasian marks the end of the moon cycle, which is the end of the evolution cycle. Cycles of nature can interlap and overlap each other to the extent that they are interrelated. Christian Caucasian year 1962 signifies the end of the world of the moon cycle. Orb scientists, the supreme mental forces of knowledge and power in the universes, chose the year 1962 CC for the end of the moon and evolution cycles, because the first of all, it was a 9 year, a year when all its digits adds up to 9 this way. 1 plus 9 plus 6 plus 2 equals 18, and 1 plus 8 equals 9. This is very important because the power 9 is the resurrector, who indeed must raise the smack circular order upward on the side that is on the right. Secondly, Christian Caucasian year 1962 was the year that Nupu made themselves known to this writer Afro-Unu. Further history shows that indeed emotions ran high, violent activities increased, there was worldwide unrest, and disasters were rife all over the planet Gaia Earth in the 60s, marking the end of a dispensation in the universe called a cycle of evolution. Let it be remembered always, and let it be known. Okay, listen to reason. However, those unusual events those unusual events of the 1960s were not the world catastrophe which is yet to come, and B, following the end of evolution. Then too, certain star movements in skies in 1962 Christian Caucasian years signified major cycle change for better after the worst of Armageddon is over. The survivors of Armageddon are the positive in the future of persons and things on Mother Goddess Earth, and by extension everywhere else. Let it be remembered always, and let it be known. Introduction to the Nature, Book 2, pages 9 through 10. So we did 7, 28, 29. Which is page 28 and 29, okay. To understand what this means, we have to look into what was going on in our solar system at the changing of these cycles. Let this writer remind you that 6 ether is gamma radiation, and the primary colors of Zupu is green through the suns, and bottom half is shown as the letter Z on our Nahu symbol. Alright, this is the bottom of our Nahu symbol. The Z stands for Zeus, and the color green is the gamma radiation that come through the suns. We know that gamma radiation is pretty much the primary generator for life of death in the bottom half, because of the colors of the trees and plants reflect that. That's the true light that's coming from the sun as far as plants are concerned. In mundane science called astrophysics, 6 ether gamma radiation announced Nupu coming by acting out with the negative uproars of war and death and oppressed people standing up against the moon cycle ending at this time, February 5th, 1962. This is called gamma eclipse or solar eclipse. Most people are familiar with this term. It is during a solar eclipse more gamma rays are putting out during any other time. So this means 6 ethers pushing out more energy, causing more negativity. Alright, so let's go to 31. This is the top half of our symbol, which is infrared light, which Nupu works more so through that color, which is the life energies when the top half is in existence, and all of the suns are emanating the color red in the top half nous or Nupu zone, which is 18 million years from now. All right. Let us continue to read on about the grand conjunction during a solar eclipse. An extremely rare grand conjunction of the classical planets occurred for the first time since 1821. It includes all 5 of the naked eye planets plus the sun and moon, all of them within 16 degrees of one another on the ecliptic. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and Venus were on one side of the sun, while Mercury and Earth were on the opposite side. When the moon crossed between the Earth and the sun, the eclipse was visible over India, where prediction of the world end had been made. On February 5th, 1962, there was an astonishing 7 planets, including a new moon and solar eclipse with a conjunction to the south node, tightly aligned in Aquarius. Anytime you have concentration of planets in one sign, you have personality with a tremendous amount of focus who is not well balanced. Aquarius is a sign of the intellect and based in reason, and an unadulterated dose of Aquarius in the chart gives the individual a spark-like quality. The urge for individuation in the sign of Aquarius can bring an unusual personality bordering on the bizarre, depending on the ascendant, which describes the persona and appearance. We would expect them to be open-minded and free-spirited, passionate about social justice, but with more difficulty in personal relationships due to the intense need for autonomy of the Aquarian influence. There was likely an explosion of creative intelligence that erupted during this grand conjunction, and although Uranus and Pluto were not yet within range of their conjunction, that didn't occur until Uranus entered Virgo later in 1962. I believe that the stellium may have been stimulated, that breakthrough that opened the door for the changes that occurred over the next 5 years in Uranus and Pluto aligned in Virgo, end quote. Okay, what page is that? 31. Okay, we're going to jump to 33. Oh, matter of fact, we'll throw this in here too. If we apply this to a natal chart, we can see that at the birth of Nupu, everywhere in the minds of the Ethiopian black kinky-haired race worldwide and beyond, the natal chart for February 5th, 1962 has 7 planets aligned together in a 9-year to welcome Nupu being born at 3 South. This is spoken in reverse in John 3:3 that says, Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born, he cannot see the kingdom of God, end quote. In noon signs, Jesus is 6 ether, and he, in this quote, is Nupu, 9 ether, and should be properly called they, but the T and the Y were taken out to confuse the reader to make Nupu appear as a white man, but in reality, Nupu are male and female mental energies, and nowhere near being human in any form or any race. Although they procreated the African race millions of years ago as our pygmy god ancestors and died off and sunk down into the center of the planet called the slab graveyard. Alright, this is the natal chart for February 5th, 1962 AD. And right here in the sign of Aquarius at that time, you can see the orbs, Mars, Saturn, the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, South Node, and Jupiter. South Node is not a planet. All right. There were 7 planets that there was Mars, Saturn, the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Venus, South Node, Jupiter. Neptune is on the left. Pluto, Uranus, and North Node are at the top. They were at the top. Like I said, this book right here breaks down a whole lot of things that took place from 1926 when Nupu was conceived, and that was in Aquarius at that time, and then when they were born as mental energies, it was in the Aquarius sign. All right, so that's what, 30, 31, 32. And I went into the signs a little bit more, but these are what the signs or these orbs represent. The orbs are conscious, so I must state that this is not, I haven't seen that anybody is teaching astrology or AstroTheology or AstroTheology. Noon, again, science is the original science of the one supreme being. And in Noon, it states that these are the original gods, the Ennead, who first came out of the chaotic waters, which in Noon sciences, or the 9 science, is called 9 ether. And these orbs are conscious, and these are the original gods of creation in this side of the universe. All right, so we got Mars, physical energy. Saturn represents laws of structure. The Sun represents ego and creativity. The Moon represents emotions and secrets. Mercury represents communication. Venus represents love. The South Node is the descending, so this is the negative side. And we are at 3 South in existence, or rock bottom. This is why everything is the way it looks at this point. So the South Node represents our comfort zone, and we're supposed to get out of our comfort zone or our South Node and start heading toward our North Node, which is what we're supposed to become. All right, Jupiter is abundance and luck. Neptune is inspiration. I think this is Pluto, death and transformation. I think this is, I forget at this point, but this represents innovation. All right, and then the North Node is your destiny. All right, so we'll continue as the series goes on. Tremendous cosmic peace and wartime.
Well, it's like the John the Baptist. Aquarius is John the Baptist, the baptizer in water. It's a water bearer.
Yep.
And so before Saturn enters Aquarius for good, in which it does not retrograde back into Capricorn, that's the 21st of December, it has to give you a little taste. It has to just jump in a bit, get its feet wet, and then come back a bit. The planets are always doing that. You know, as they proceed, they drive you toward that sign, then they pull their energy back, right? Get you prepared for that energy. It's like rowing a boat, you know? And so there will be 9 or 10 months ahead of us where this will be happening, where Saturn will go in and then retrograde back. And there's only the one retrograde between now and the 21st of December. So what's happening is Aquarius is establishing itself in a more extensive way than ever before, because it started establishing itself in 1962.
Yeah, well, that conjunction with the 7 planets in Aquarius, isn't it?
Yeah. All the 7 visible planets were in Aquarius at 6 a.m. on the 5th of February, Aquarius. In 1962, they all rose together in the east, in Aquarius, 5 to 6 a.m., pretty much everywhere around the world. Those 7, which only happens about every 4 million years. And to be exact, 4,320 years, according to Manly P. Hall and the great Vedic wisdom of the ancients, where they said the 7 visible planets can only be in a sign together once every 4,320,000 years.
Wow.
So the fact that that happened, and they were singing about the age of Aquarius coming. And then on the 21st of December 2012, Pisces ended. That was the 50-year cusp from 62 to 2012 of Pisces and Aquarius intermingling of cusp energy. And then on that day, Pisces ended forever, gone, and Aquarius began. But there's always another 7-year
transformation period, kind of.
Yeah, it's I forget the name for it, but there's another 7 years, 8 years of lingering after that, in which Aquarius has to establish itself properly. And how it does that is Jupiter and Saturn have to be conjunct in 0 degrees of that sign.
Yeah.
And that happened in Pisces supposedly 2,000 years ago. They both turned up together to usher in the age of Pisces. Now they're turning up again 7 years after 2012, exactly on the winter solstice, both of them 0 degrees Aquarius. And they will set the tone for the whole Aquarian movement, which is coming. Very mental. Very humanitarian,
Yep.
Very golden age, because the opposite sign of Aquarius is Leo.
Yep.
And it's the sun. So we're going to have solar salvation coming through Leo. It's going to be a Leo age, the age of Leo. And that's what the Sphinx is. The Sphinx is a man, Aquarius.
Aquarius and Leo, yeah.